He's coming across, I see him, and he's saying, draw, okay, get ready, draw, get ready, draw. Man, I'm trying to draw, and it's still a little dark. Of course, I'm trying to make every excuse there is that I didn't shoot that bear at 20 yards.
I think we have just set the world on fire. That's not what we intended to do. You might not ever get that opportunity twice, so I'm shaking all over. I guess let's go see what's laying on the ground. Welcome to Double Lung Outdoors. This week, the Double Lung Bunch is at the 1024 Ranch in Commerce, Texas. We're bow hunting whitetails. Carla and I are after a pair of deer that I've been scouting for a few weeks. Big 6-year-olds, raised right here on the property, and we can't wait to get after them. I've got the bow, Carla's got the crossbow. Let's see what we get done with them. Getting my bow ready. We've got a big deer spotted. We just got to close the deal. Hopefully this morning's the morning. In the blind here at 1024 Ranch, and Emerson and I have been scouting this spot for a couple of weeks. We got a deer found that we kind of like, so we just got settled in. It's hot and it's humid, kind of typical for Texas bow hunting. But anyway, we're settled in. We got our ozonic spinning behind us, and we'll see if we can get a deer to come down through this trail here where they're crossing, going back and forth. Just climbed in the blind. We've been basically hunting almost a week for this one particular deer here, 1024. And like most of the afternoons, it's hot. But that's just part of trying to bow hunt Texas deer in October. But anyway, we got in here. There's a front coming tonight. We got in here just a little bit early, and hopefully they'll get up on their feet and we'll get a chance to see them here in a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little better chance this afternoon. We got our ozonic spinning, thermocell working. We're gonna sit back and relax. You folks do the same thing. You're watching Double Lung Outdoors. We got one specific deer that we're trying to get on, and for the second time I've had him inside bow range, but haven't been able to get an arrow stuck in him. He came in this morning, we didn't have enough camera light, and then when we got enough camera light, he didn't stay long enough for us to try to get on him. So Carla and Johnny in another blind down here, a little piece, and I think we'll see if we can slip out of here and go see if they've had any luck this morning. Anyway, we'll try them again this afternoon, I guess. You guys stay tuned. You're watching Double Lung Outdoors.
This segment is brought to you by RFJ Auto Partners Incorporated. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealers. Dave Smith Motors, Kellogg, Idaho. Vernon Auto Group, Vernon, Texas. Trucktown Dodge, La Mesa, Texas. Sulphur Springs Dodge, Sulphur Springs, Texas. Greenville Chrysler, Greenville, Texas. Bonham Chrysler, Bonham, Texas. Academy Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Bessemer, Alabama.
Bass Pro Shops. It's more than a store.
It's great service from folks who know what they're talking about.
A place with a great selection of brands you love.
And so many clothing options to choose from.
It's a low price guaranteed.
And free events that are fun for the whole family.
If you've never been to Bass Pro Shops, you don't know what you're missing.
You're watching Double Lung Outdoors TV.
We're at the 1024 Ranch in Commerce, Texas this morning. Just got my new Carbon Express crossbow. We had a big 8-point come in this morning. I fired a shot at him. We're gonna wait a little bit and see what happens.
We go check on Carla's deal. I said, Johnny, what do you got on footage? He said, man, it looks like it hit him in the brisket and it's just freewheeling and the deer just walks off. And I said, well, there's got to be more to it than all of that. So we go back at breakfast, take the footage, download it, look at it. And what happened, either the front of the tent blind or a tree limb right outside the blind clipped her arrow out of the crossbow. The arrow hits the ground and it turns 90 degrees and sticks right in this deer's brisket. Well, we all panicked, thinking this deer's gonna be mortally wounded. So for 2 days, nearly 24 hours a day,
We hunt this deer, and I could see him, but I couldn't get close enough to do anything with him. And after a couple of days, we realized that the deer's not hurt. It's just stuck into the meat of the brisket. This is a giant deer. Probably in October when we started hunting, that deer probably weighed 275. So it's just stuck into the meat, and after a couple of days, the arrow disappeared. When the bow season got by us, we had another hunt to make, so we started back into November with rifle season, and we'd hunt him on the weekend, and it started raining, and it got really nasty. It got almost impossible for us to even get to our blinds in the bottoms because the food plots were underwater this deep, and you couldn't hardly get a buggy to them. So we'd set up on him one weekend, and he'd come out 1,000 yards from us the other side. So we'd set up over there in between, and he'd go the opposite way. Then he went nocturnal for a week or so when they were really chasing does.
This segment is brought to you by Farm Country Incorporated, Sulphur Springs, Texas. Venture Roofing and Building Supply, your roofing business partner. The 1024 Ranch, time to experience the ultimate Texas hunt. McWhorter Custom Rifles 1/2-inch MOA guarantee provides unprecedented confidence while settling in for your next shot. McWhorter Custom Rifles, the most accurate hunting rifles in the world. McWhorterRifles.com. Closed captioning is brought to you by Dillon Manufacturing. Blinds built to last a lifetime. You're watching Double Lung Outdoors TV.
Well, we started in with these two big bucks we were looking for. I was hunting a big clean 6x6, and Carla's hunting a big giant 8 with some stickers on him. And he's got a big, beautiful double-wide throat patch. Generally, when we settled in on these deer, if we could get right on them, we've been able within 3 or 4 days to get them knocked down, but we're over into day 9.
We came in to get in the blind, and the deer are already on their feet, so we're quivering them a little, so it may take them a little while to come back through, but we're situated and we're ready to go. Hopefully, we'll get our shot tonight.
So this particular morning, we only had one cameraman, that's Johnny. And I sent him with Carla. And so I said, well, don't worry about it, I'll film myself. I set the tent blind up. This deer has only come in from one direction. I got the windows blacked out to the left. Deer's gonna come this way. I sit back down, I get situated. I look up and the doe in front of me are acting silly. I don't know what they're doing, but it's like something's happening behind me. So I pull the window back to the left, and guess where the 6x6 is? He didn't come down the creek in the 2-track today, no. He's on the left side. The wind's blowing, there's a front coming. He makes a loop out in front. He kind of mills around a little bit, and he's gone. So I said, well, he's headed south to where Carl and Johnny are. Then a doe and a yearling come out of the creek and started down the 2-track, and he made it a loop around and came back. And I had ranged this spot. I'd had him at this spot a couple of days before. He's at 30 yards. I get the camera set, I put my reading glasses on because I can't see the viewfinder without it. I zoom him in, I hit the record button, I turn sideways and I pull the string, and with them reading glasses on, I could see 12 pins and no peep sight. That's all I could see was pins. You gotta be kidding me. Finally get him in front of the blind, and the reading glasses had distorted what I was looking at so much I couldn't tell what to do. So I let the bow down. Well, didn't know what he was gonna do then, but he walked off to the left of the blind. I thought he left. I leaned forward in the chair, and I can see the deer, and I have a little window to shoot. So I picked the camera up, move it all the way to the corner of the tent blind, turned it, set it, put the reading glasses back on. I'm looking in the viewfinder. I've got the deer. I think, okay, I can try this. So I stood up in the chair, pulled the bow, and then I went to leaning over to look out the window. Well, my elbow hit the viewfinder. You gotta be kidding me. So I took my elbow and I pushed it as far as I could without turning the camera off, and I leaned out. I've had this big 6x6 in front of me 3 or 4 times, just couldn't get the bow pulled back where I could get a shot at him. Something happened, the deer moved. Got him, I get the peep on him. Well, he hit the front of the tent blind. I heard it hit, but I see the arrow goes in the deer. Not only did I hit the tent blind, it ricocheted off one of them little fiberglass rods around the window frame. And we think we can show you here when we slow the footage down that the arrow's going completely sideways. And between me and the deer, it clips something and squares it back up and buries it into the 4th rib. I'd rather be lucky than good any day. But you know, it's just one of them deals that it just happens from time to time. It just so happened I got lucky with it.
He was quartering away. The arrow looks like it's back a little, but it should have got everything going forward. And it buried all the way up. I thought maybe I heard him crash. We're gonna give him 30 or 40 minutes and maybe let me calm down. That's as hard as I've hunted for one specific deer in a long time, and if we can put our hands on them, that'll be 3 years in a row, 3 giant bucks here at 10-2-4 with a bow. The arrow went all the way up to the fletching, so I feel pretty good about it. It's just back a little, but he was quartering away, so I think it got the other side. I just want to give him plenty of time to be sure he expires.
Well, we've recovered mine. We got to try to get this one captured, put in the cooler. Hunting basically 2 specific animals. When you settle down on that, it makes it a whole lot more difficult.
This segment is brought to you by Talent Roofing. Quality roofing since 1987. Doc's Deer Sense. Go pure, go fresh, go Doc's. Wilderness Whitetails. Dare to dream giant dreams. McWhorter Custom Rifles, the most accurate hunting rifles in the world.
The Wilderness Whitetails experience, I think is second to none.
You're watching Double Lung Outdoors TV. This segment is brought to you by Eberly Stock, our favorite hunting pack. SKB Cases since 1977. Carbon Express Arrows. Shoot better with Carbon Express. Dillon Manufacturing. Blinds built to last a lifetime.
This week's topic of the week is archery. And my suggestion, if you want to be a good archer, is find you a specialized place that does nothing but that. And I can tell you, I quit for several years and I got really sloppy with my technique. But a couple of years ago, I bumped into a guy that owns a place called Cinnamon Creek Archery, or Cinnamon Creek Ranch. And I went, I purchased a new bow, and I got coached up a little bit, and I didn't agree with them, but when I went home, I finally decided to give in to what they told me. I shot about 20 arrows. Since that time, 5 or 6 animals have died. And I'm not a very big practicer. I don't really like to practice. I like to go shoot at an animal. But I guarantee you, they put Rick Frazier back in the archery business, and I'm here to stay. And what I'd like to do is introduce you to a guy named Charles Yardley.
Yeah, one of the things we want to do with a customer is bring them in, make sure we fit that bow properly. What we see a lot of times is people are shooting bows that aren't fit right. They're not set up to where they need to be. And we want to make sure that we're helping them pick the bow that's right, make sure that bow's set up correctly so that they can be as accurate as possible and have the best success possible. With today's equipment, it allows us a greater deal of efficiency and accuracy. And again, making sure that bow fits right is going to make sure you're better in the field. For the customer just getting ready, pulling that bow back out, getting ready for the upcoming season, take that out, check the strings, bring it into a quality shop, let them look it over, make sure that there's no damage to the strings, there's no damage to the limbs, make sure that bow is working right, and go ahead and look over and refit that thing. Did the peep sight slip? Is there anything we need to adjust to make sure that bow is fitting you absolutely right so that we can get you out, make sure you're shooting your best, make sure you're having the best success you can out in the field.
Thanksgiving rolls along and it's still raining nearly every day. And Johnny was gone with Kenneth, and so it was just me. And Carla and I don't normally hunt together because it don't go very well. We just, you know, I get excited and I'm trying to get her to hurry, and she don't like to be made nervous. So I knew in my own mind, if we're gonna pull this off, I had to be calm. If we got a chance at the deer, we were gonna have to make it all work, and we were running out of time. We had to sit in the smallest blind that 10-2-4's got. Just barely room for 2 people, much less try to put a camera and a tripod. Anyway, about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, deer started moving, and about 5:15 I looked to my left, hard left, and he's coming out of the woods. He crosses one of the food plots, and he went to a feeder, and I thought, well, maybe this is gonna be our chance. And the deer turned and went straight to the south, right to the blind we were in the night before, and he was on a dead walk. And I told her, I said, you're gonna have to make the longest shot you've ever made, and we gotta swap sides. So we get up inside the blind, swap sides, I get the camera up, and I get her situated out of the window. She's got a shooting bag over the window, and I put a shooting sticks under the butt of the gun, get her solid. She's got the 6.5 1/4. I dialed the scope up to 350, and I said, just take your time. This gun will make this shot if you'll just get solid. And the deer finally stopped, and I said, I'm on him, and I got the camera zoomed in as far as I can zoom it, and he looks about this big. That's how far he was. She touched it off, and I felt pretty good about it.
We probably better see if we can go put our hands on him ASAP before it gets dark. Perfect. Let's go see what he looks like.
That is a big boy.
He is huge. Big body, big horns.
Yeah, he's run a little bit of that weight off since back in October, but he's still big body.
Finally got him.
I'm gonna tell you, it took 45 days to close this deal, but we got it done. And again, the 10-2-4 has come across for us with 2 great big white-tailed deer. Thanks for you guys watching Double Long Outdoors. You guys stay tuned for next week, because I guarantee you we're gonna be somewhere and we're gonna be after them. I hope you folks enjoyed the show this week. Come back and see us next week, see where the Double Lung group's gonna be. I guarantee you we're gonna be someplace, and we're gonna be chasing wild game.